Welcome everyone to the show. I'm your host Don Vic. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Clip that. Clip that. This is the place where you find new talent, new faces, upcoming stars here live on the show all the time. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. We're here live on the Don Vic Show. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Today we got some updates. We're gonna talk about some people coming on the show on um Monday the 22nd and Tuesday the 23rd. We got some great people coming here on the show. Make sure you guys tune in on the 22nd and the 23rd so you guys can see who's coming aboard the show. I am excited, folks. Too many things happening and too many things going on. You know the vibes. Um, Shout out to everyone that tunes in, YouTube. You know the vibes. TikTok, and Facebook, and everyone around the world. You know what it is. Good shout out to my friend Sean Ellis, his partner Gwen, Victoria, Susan Victoria, Pam Harris, Tammy, Christian, Ashley McFadden, Derek McFadden, everybody else in the paranormal world. Also, keeping you updated with what's going on in January with Nicole Beltler, Vegas. Um, they are having the premiere for Desert Fiends 2. Skate to Hell is coming up as well. So many great things happening this year. I'm excited. Also, March 15th, the gala out in California, the luxury gala as well, happening out in LA, Hollywood. Big shout out to Samara and the whole team. You know, Sherry and Rhonda and Paul and everybody else that's out there in LA that comes out for the gala, luxury gala. It's an amazing, amazing place to be. Excited to know it's going down. Also, big shout out to Crystal Snow out in Canada, doing great things. She does have a film that's out too. So big shout out to her. Also, big shout out to my brother Mike Ross, comedian Mike Ross. Big shout out to Mike Ross. Um, he will be at the Apollo in New York soon. So make sure you guys pull up for my brother Mike Ross. Also, big shout out to Hazel Roche, my man 50 Grizzan, okay, out of Philly. Mary Ellis, also big shout out to Mary Ellis, part of the X boxing, X Rumble boxing. I don't know why they changed it from celebrity boxing to X Rumble boxing, but it is what it is. Shout out to Damian Feldman as well. Um, so and everyone else that's you know connected to celebrity boxing, all the boxers, all the fighters, they're connected to that as well. Also, big shout out to Renee Garcia. I know she was out here in Boston. She is one of the housewives of Jersey. Big shout out to Renee. She was out here in Boston with one of her friends. I don't know if she moved out here or she got a place out here, but welcome to my city, Boston, Renee. Renee, I met out in Atlantic City. I met Renee out there with uh another another housewife of Jersey, and great people. We took pictures and whatever. But she was out here in Boston, so I was excited to know that she was out here um hanging out. Not sure if she bought a place. Not sure if she bought a place out here in Boston, but if she did, then that's great. I'll probably see her around downtown somewhere. But that's great, that she came out here to Boston from Jersey. And she was hanging out. Um, so big shout out to Renee Garciano. Big shout out to the housewives too of Jersey. Big shout out to the women out there as well. You know what I mean? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, folks. I'm excited, man. So many great things that people are doing and getting into, and and hope 2026 brings everybody a better year. You know, and hope everybody start getting along too as well. It's a lot of things going on, especially like on TikTok. TikTok is something else. I'll tell you. TikTok is like I go there, I do my videos, because I love music, and I go there and I lip sing, and I entertain people, and it's cool and all. But there's so much going on TikTok. It's unbelievable. You know, from gossip to fighting to all types of crazy stuff. I don't know. I don't understand some people sometimes. You know what I mean? That can be so cruel to other people and disrespectful. I just don't get it. Um, and I thought that that was more for content and just promoting your stuff, kind of like Facebook too. But people go there, man, and they have these lives and forget about it. The things that they say about other people, and it's just a hot mess. So I don't get involved with those topics or groups. And sometimes they send me invitation to join groups, and I did at one point, but I just stopped. I just stopped because it's not something I want to do, and it's not healthy. You know, um, some of the conversations are not healthy, so stay away from that. And I got things going on my own. I don't need to be in he said she said type things and my name popping up on stuff on social media. But it is what it is, and just people got to be careful. You got to be careful on what you do and who you hang out with and what you say, because people are always out there to do you dirty. You know what I'm saying? Do you dirty and get into your business and cause you problems. Straight facts. And then this music stuff. I mean, the entertainment world, like you have to definitely watch out. Watch out for your circle. Watch out for the people that come around you. I say this all the time. Me and my friends talk about it all the time. Sometimes people use you for their advantage, because you got, your name is running, is making noise, and people want to come around you to try to get um, clout, or to try to bring you into their projects, and then some of these projects don't even come through. Sometimes these projects don't even got the funding to um to move forward with the film. So a lot of you people have to be careful when you get these Indiegogo films, and you're buying um you're buying perks. You have to make sure that the people that are making the film actually have the funds to create the movie and make the movie, because then you got a part and then the movie doesn't go anywhere. They don't have the funding. They spend the funding or the money, and then the movie doesn't go nowhere. It just stays where it's at. So you have to be real careful when you go into getting into a film. Make sure you know who they are. Make sure that they put stuff out before. Um, Ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? Ask other people that worked with them to see how they operate. Because when you're buying perks, you're giving 250, you're giving 1,000, you're giving that's money that you work hard for and you earn to be a part of something, and then that doesn't come through. It doesn't come through for you, or you fly out, you film it, you go there, you do it, then the project is on stop because they don't have the funding to push the project forward. Distribution is hard to get, you know, and so just make sure that whatever you get into, um, you do your research, because there's a lot of people that are filming films and not finishing the films. They're not moving forward. They're not getting distribution. They can't get distribution because they're spending the money of the funds. Some people are not even getting paid. So you really have to watch who you work with, ask the questions, make sure you if you're going to work with a crew, or a director, do some research, see who they worked with, seeing if they have any finished products, I mean projects that they actually put out a film, um, and kind of see where they stand before you start buying perks and to get into some of these films and then things don't work out and then so you spend money to fly out wherever you went to fly out. You spent money on a hotel, you spent money on a on a rental, and you spent money on your on your on your script or on your part, and the project doesn't move. The project doesn't go nowhere because their people are not putting the money where it belongs to be able to move forward. So you have to be really careful with who you work with. I say that all the time. People that I've worked with also, had their issues with um, being in projects where the projects ain't going nowhere, and it's just funny money. It's just funny business. Um, and people will put up a good front, like they actors is actors, and directors, producers can be actors too, and put a good game about this coming out, and you got people, buying perks, and then nothing goes through. So you have to be really careful on who you're working with. I work with certain people, and that's who I work with until I see other people doing different, then I might want to get on their projects. But other than that, I stick to the people I work with because I know for sure that their projects come through. Their projects um, are put out. Their projects are on Tubi, are on Amazon. So I know that they put in the effort for distribution, and you're getting your money's worth. So if you're one of those individuals that like Indiegogo films because you get opportunities to get on films, then you need to do your research. Hi Sabrina, do your research and make sure that who you're working with is who they say they are, because there's a lot of fake productions that are going on, and what I mean fake is that they they go online, they put it, hey, we're working on this film, they put up the perks, but they don't go through with the project. They film it, but then the money somewhere somehow disappears or goes somewhere. Now they don't got money to finish the product. I mean the project. They can't get distribution. They can't do this because they don't have enough funds. So, you know, just be really careful on who you're working with, because there's a lot of phony stuff going on and funny stuff going on in this, in this industry, and you got to really know who you're working with. I say it because I talk to certain people. I talk to people, and certain people, some ain't happy with some of the projects, and these things happen, and then you got your people where they try to use other people for clout, you know, they try to use other people for clout. So you have to be really careful when you join a production team or, or film, um, that they may not use you to make money off of you, or just use you um, to their benefit. And then nothing happens, because at the end of the day, is your name that's being used. Hi sis, what's up, mama? I seen what you sent me. You got jokes, okay? She guys, my sister be playing jokes. She's silly sometimes. So just make sure that the people that you're working with are who they are, because some people just want clout, and then by using someone's name or using someone's um credibility, they bring other people into their projects and they start to buy perks and start to buy roles because an example, I'm on it. And just to say I'm on the film, right? They'll be like, oh, if Don Vic is in this film, then it's legit. Let me buy a perk. But in reality, what they're doing is bringing people there, buying perks, and then they get this money and nothing happens. Nothing happens. So then we all get screwed. The project doesn't happen. They might film it, you know, but if you don't have the full capacity of the money to be able to film the whole thing, then do the premiere, um, get the distribution, then the film is not going anywhere. It's just gonna just sit there, or depending on what they're trying to do. So you have to be really careful. So, and this is happening, it happens. I see it happening to certain individuals. Um, people use their name and try to use their credibility to their benefit so they can get people to come onto their films and buy perks and stuff like that. And then at the same time they're using someone, and that's not cool. You know what I mean? Don't That's not really cool to do. Um, yes, definitely keep rising up. And and so that's exactly what a lot of people do. See, so again, I work with a certain team. I only work with a certain team, and hopefully in April, hopefully in April, I'll be back in Vegas to work with Nicole again, Nicole and Sean. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, so it's a slasher movie. I think it's slasher horror comedy again. I think they're doing some more comedy, and I might be able to go for this other film. So I'm excited. And not just that, but um, Nicole is going to give me an opportunity to be able to work with her behind the scene as well. With the PDA, whatever, the signing papers and just helping crew out and get more knowledgeable behind the scene with stuff and the crew and so that's another thing. And a lot of you guys know that Nicole and I are very good friends. We go way back. We've been friends for almost 4 or 5 years now, and we really good friends. Nicole's never changed. Nicole's always been the same person with me. She's she's one of the down to earth women I've met. She does what she said. She do what she says she going to do. She get it done. So I stick with her. I stick with her and I ride with her all the way. And whatever project she got, if I can get in those projects, I'm in there. And just to help her out too. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work behind the scene. Um, so I'm willing to be a part of the film, but also help her out as well, in that side of the crew, where things are happening behind the scenes. I'm with that. Like that's part of who I am, and anything she needs from me that I can do for her to make her job easier, why not? So I'm looking forward to that in April. Um, and get more experience. So with God's willing, I might be there in April for this next film. So folks, a lot of things happening, and also maybe I think before I go to Vegas in April, I have to sign up back into school to get my certificate for filming because I want to have that under my belt so that I can be able to film my own stuff, and stuff that I have done written with my good friend Denise. I might be help her out with filming some stuff if I can, or maybe just put some trailers out for her, for myself. So that way I can write my own things and and shoot them, here with in the studio, um, where I'll be taking these classes, and then, I have Susan Victoria as well. She's a good editor. I'm gonna talk to her and see if she wants to sit with me and write something so we can shoot something together out here in Boston. Because I could shoot, I just don't know how to edit. If I knew how to edit, I would already been did something. I just don't know how to edit, and I know I can learn how to do it, but it takes time. I don't have the time to sit there and learn it because I got so much stuff going on. But eventually I will. Eventually, slowly but surely, I just got to do one thing at a time. So much stuff that I need to do, and I want to get all the important things out the way. Um, but those are some of the things I want to do this year for 2026. I want to get back into school, get my certificate for filming, and then I want to shoot this film with Nicole in April, um, with God's willing, in April. Come back April, and then in May, um, go hard. Go hard in on what I do. Um, Filming, and maybe talk to some of my friends that already got stuff written down. Talk to Susan, see if she's willing to write something with me so we can shoot it out here, and maybe even put it on YouTube, as a, what do you call it? Not a film, but I forgot what it's called. I got so much stuff going on. But yeah, so we can put it on YouTube so people can see it, and go from there. You know, so I'm excited. I got plenty of people that I'll be bringing here to the show as well for the interviews, updates as well. Um, big. I want to sing happy birthday to Katie Wallen. Katie Wallen is an actress. She is the wife of my brother, Mr. Wallen, um, as well. And it was her birthday, I think, today or yesterday. So happy birthday to Katie Wallen. Um, they're awesome. They got a lot of films out, um, and they're a good friend of mine. So big shout out to them. Um, so yeah, so really have to focus on what it is you want to do this year coming up. Focus on it, execute it. Don't let nothing get in your way, um, and go hard. I know a lot of us been doing things for the past couple years, and it's kind of like, it hasn't gone up, it hasn't gone down. It's kind of like steady. Um, so have to find a way to have to find a way to make this happen. Move up a little bit. Got to come sit at the table and come up with other strategies on how to make your project work. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy, folks. It's not really easy. Hi, Pam. Mwah. Big shout out to Pam Harris. She's amazing. Um, Also paranormal investigator. She's also a writer. She got a great book out that she wrote with her brother. Make sure you guys follow her, Pam Harris. And so there's always room for growth. And so you have to find a way how to take that next step, right? And make whatever it is that you want to make happen. It's not easy. I always say it's not easy when you're in this type of business or any type of business that you're trying to uplift, right? Take it from the ground and bring it up. It's never easy. Um, Especially when you're working by yourself or you got a team and everybody's got busy, it's very hard. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But it's doable, you know. You're welcome, sweetie. It's always doable. So, don't be discouraged. Don't let people take you out of your groove, out of your zone, because people are good for that. When you're doing something positive, when you're trying to move forward, when you have a plan, the people that surround you, believe it or not, be jealous. And sometimes it be family members. You be surprised. Okay, it don't be the guy across the street. It don't be the one at work. It be right at home. You know, it be right at home. So you have to be really careful when you're executing what it is that you're executing or you're trying to do, and watch your surroundings, because sometimes it's those that are around you that wish your downfall. They smile in your face, sit down and eat with you, but at the same time, they can't wait for you to fail. Or they tell you, "Oh, that's not going to work," or "Why are you wasting your time?" When you start hearing that around people in your family member, those are the ones that don't want to see you shine. Those are the ones that are jealous of you. Those are the ones that ain't doing nothing for themselves. Or maybe they are, but they're not really doing anything. They're just doing something. But when you're doing something that overlaps them, with overshine them, right? That's when the problem begins. They don't want no one to overshine them because they feel like they're overshining, especially when they're looking at you like you're less than them and you shining more than them. They don't like that. They definitely want to see you fall. Okay. So I say this because of experience. I say this because I see it happen. You know, yes, you got your outside haters too. People that are watching you from the outside in, people from your groups, people, that just follow, that are just waiting for you to say something negative. Something about you not proceeding, something about something happened to you, and they're sitting over there laughing like, yeah, yeah, I know it, because we just have evil people. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, you have to move in silence. There was something today said, an old guy was saying on TikTok, this older black guy, you know, must have been in the 70s, said, "Don't tell nobody what you're doing. Don't tell nobody your business. Don't tell nobody when you buy a house. Don't tell nobody when you buy a car. Don't tell nobody nothing, because people don't want to see you grow. People don't want to see you be happy. You know, keep those personal things to yourself. Move in silence." Is basically what he was saying. Move in silence. By the time they figure out what you're doing, you're already ahead of the game. You accomplish things because people are not there wishing you bad, you know, sending you bad energy because they don't know what you're doing. So in other words, out of mind, out of sight, which is a great way to look at it. But I get it too, because sometimes some of us are in on social media. We're you know people that we're constantly on here, and this is what we do. We're a product of what this environment that we're in. So it's harder to keep things under wraps, because you have to you're in front of the public view. But there's ways to do it too. you know um but because for me, an example, I'm a podcaster, and I like to promote. My job is to promote people. So I have to talk about certain things. I have to talk about movies. I have to talk about promoting who's certain films, certain people doing certain things. So I have to put it out there, you know, just to give them promotion, or just to let people know what they're doing. But there's certain ways you can move without them knowing exactly what you're doing, you know. Um, so you just got to find a way how to maneuver yourself. Um, when you're creating something. Um, keep it on the low. Um, if you don't have to tell nobody, then don't say it. Just work on it, get it done. Once you get it done, then you put it out. Um, because sometimes when you're working on something and you're so excited, you want people to know, and you put it out there, but you're still working on it. People throw salt on you. People be like, "Oh, I hope she don't get it done. I hope he don't get it done. I hope he fucking, you know, I hope you fall. I hope something happens that you don't get it done." And they just keep on it and on and just wishing you bad things, and then you figure out like, man, why can't I get this done? Why I tried and I didn't get it done? Well, that's because people are putting hex on you. Wishing you bad, wishing you don't accomplish. So sometimes it's best not to say nothing, get it done, and then promote it. Because by the time they start trying to, by the time they start to wish bad on you, it's too late. It's done. The project is done. All you need now you're doing is promoting it. So all they have to do is sit there and bang themselves against the wall because they didn't have time to wish bad on you because the project is done and they didn't know about it. So there's certain ways how to move and approach certain things. You know what I mean? Um, to get things done. Likewise, and yeah, Sabrina, and and that's just the way to move. Sometimes people come around you not because they're your friends, but because they want to see what you're doing, to see how they can sabotage what you got going on. Because they see you're happy, they see you creating something that something can become something, and they're not doing it, but they're around you, they're family members, they're friends, and they want to come around you. Then you'd be like, damn, why is this person hanging around me? They don't do nothing. They don't help me with nothing. Why they all in my mix? Well, some of those people are there to sabotage you. They're there to see what you're doing and to see how they can destroy what you're doing so you don't be successful at what you're doing. So you have to be really careful. Okay. You really do. Don't trust everybody. You can't be trusting everybody. Not everybody's your friend. I say that all the time here. You know what I mean? Um, Other things that a lot of people are selfish. They want you to do for them, but they don't do for you, which it happens a lot. Happens a lot. I see it here all the time. You know, People want to send you stuff. Can you do this for me? Can you promote this for me? Can you do this? And then I'd be like, what have you done for me? Like, have you even shared one of my shows? Have you even looked at one of my shows? No. But yet they hit you up and they want favors or they want you to promote something for them. So you really have to really watch, man, because a lot of people are very selfish, and I get it. You want to get your stuff out there, but so do I. So do I, and so does 50 million other people. So if you don't know how to do teamwork where one hand washes the other, then don't get involved. Do your thing, I do my thing, and everybody else do their own thing. Because obviously, you know, um, everybody likes to pull to one side. Not everyone. Most people like to pull to their side, but when it's time to pull to your side, it's a problem. There's no effort, there's no help. So, you have to pick and choose your battles. You have to pick and choose your friends. You have to pick and choose who you're going to work with and who you're going to promote and who you're going to try to help, because you can't do it for everybody. Because at the end of the day, when you start doing that, you start to figure out that you're always last. You're always last because you're putting everybody in front of you and everybody's reaching out to you because you're the source. They know that with you, they can get their stuff out or they can get connected with something. So you always will be last because you're too busy helping everyone else, but nobody's willing to give you that help. And sometimes you got to open and see that with your eyes and be like, you know what? Let me pump my brakes. Let me sit back and let me do me. Do you? I'm going to do me. Okay. Get yourself where you need to be before you start branching out. You know, help those that help you. Share with those that share with you. Everyone else, you put them to the side. You know, I got people that I have people that ain't spoke to me in years. Still on my page. Ain't spoke to me in years. Don't even watch my show. Don't even say hi, how you doing? But when they need a favor, I'm the first person they call. Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you promote this? Hey, this is happening to me. Can you help me out? Like really? I don't give people. I really don't. You know, and those are people that you don't help, and then they turn around and they sabotage you. They want to talk about you. But wait a minute, I've known you for like 3 or 4 years. You haven't even said hello to me. You haven't even watched my show. You haven't even said anything to me. You reach out because all of a sudden now you need a favor, and I don't want to help you, and all of a sudden I'm a bad guy. Those people I block. You know, I don't. I can't deal with that. Facts. Yeah, you got those too, Sabrina. That happens all the time. It happens to me on TikTok too. I block some certain people and they make fake account just to follow me, just to see what I'm doing. Either you possessed over me or like me or whatever the case may be. Because why are they worrying about what you do? Why? If they're not out to help you, if they're not out to help you grow, then why are you so worried about what the hell I'm doing? That you gotta put up a fake account to follow me for what? If you're gonna wish bad on me, you don't need to follow me. You can do that from your living room. Say, I hope this person don't do nothing. You don't have to follow me. But yet they follow you because in their back, they fans. They fans of yours. You know, they fans. They either fans or they just, wish they were in your position, wish they can do what you can do, you know. So just keep doing you, you know, because some people just wait for you to, some people just are just hanging around or waiting for you to do something big so that then they can call you and say, hey, an example, hey Sabrina, how you doing? How you been? Wait a minute, you haven't even called you I haven't spoke to you in like 2 years. All of a sudden you're calling me asking me how I'm doing, how I've been. Oh, I know why, because I made this happen. Now you see I'm working and I'm making moves. All of a sudden now you're acknowledging me, you know. So there's a lot of those people. A lot. So you have to be really, really careful. Okay. And those people can be on your page too. You know what I mean? Because not everybody that's on your page is there to see you do good, or actually are happy for you. Some people infiltrate your page because they want to see who you're working with, what you're doing, so that they can wish bad on you. So you be really careful and watch how you move. Yeah, it's crazy thinking. Then you're the bad guy. Exactly. So so what I do is I don't care. I don't care what people say about me no more. I know what I need to do for me, right? And I know what makes me happy and what's going to make me happy. So I'm going to do that. Regardless of what anybody think, anybody might say, um oh, you're not going to be this big superstar. I don't care. But I'm doing something that I love to do. You know what I mean? I love to do what I do. So if I don't become a big, so what? Right? At least I am trying to become somebody. I'm putting my best foot forward to become, and I'm making some progress. I'm here, I'm there. People are starting to know who I am. I'm making movies. And even if I don't become this big, great, big actor, at least I can say I got 10 movies that I've been in. And I know such and such. I met such and such. What have you done? I didn't make it big, but I'm look at my record. Look everything I've done. Look at all the people I met. Look at everything I've done. What have you done? You feel what I'm saying? So do you. Do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Uplift yourself. You don't need a team of people to uplift you. You have to have that energy to uplift yourself and make yourself happy. You have to have that energy in you. You know, people ask me all the time, man, you're always energetic, you're always smiling, you're always happy. But that's because I make myself that way. You know what I'm saying? Because if nobody can make me happy, nobody can make me smile, then guess what? I got to make myself do that. You know, man, when you got that type of energy, man, you're dangerous, you know, because no one's going to be able to stop that because that's who you are. You know, you have that energy. You have that inner live soul in you that you don't need people around you to make you happy. You don't need people around you to uplift you. You don't need people around you to make you want to do what you do because you already like that. You're programmed already to be that way. You understand? So do what you do, say what you say. I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna do it my way. It's my way, bigger than our way. When I say go, cause I'm in control my way. You better hit the highway, cause I'm in control. And I need you to know. It doesn't have logic. You're right. It don't. Yeah, 100%. You know, it's not it's not science to figure things out. Yeah, none. You know, it's not science. You know, that's great. That's great. You know, you have to. You have to operate that way. It just you just have to. You know, you're the star, Sabrina. You are the star. You know, so it boils down, folks, to you doing what you want to do and what you love to do. People are always going to want to see your downfall. Not all of them, but some of them. So, so damn if I do, damn if I don't. Do what you need to do for yourself. Do what makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? Do what you was born to do and what your dream is. Because you know there's always going to be people like this hanging on, you know, to you because you're moving too fast. You're moving too fast. You're connecting too fast, and they can't catch up. So they're going to try to hold you down. So what do? You do the Harlem Shake. You do the Harlem Shake, baby, Harlem Shake, and you shake them off. You know what I'm saying? And then you operate like this. You throw on your hoodie, and you're moving silent. You know where they can't see you. You know because sometimes it's best to be hidden. You know than forbidden. It's better to be hidden than exposed. Um, especially when you're growing. You know, when you're growing, you give too much exposure, people start to hang on and seeing what you're doing and you know and want to see you fall. That's just a fact. That's just a true fact. You know, listen, I see people here on shows, I admire them. I don't hate on nobody. You know, I see shows, people doing what I'm doing. I'm I, I'm happy. You know, because those are my friends. And if they make it big, guess what? I can say, damn, that's my man right there. And they know me. And if they can help me, and if they got a good heart like I do, they're gonna want to help you too. So you got to look at that. You can't never hate on the next man for doing what they want to do. We all got dreams. You know what I'm saying? And we all want to fulfill dreams. And this is an industry where everybody's trying to make it. Everybody wants to be number one. Everybody, that's fine. That's your motivation. When you're trying to be number one, you have a motivation. I can't knock you. I can't get mad at you because you want to be number one. I gotta get that same motivation. You understand? I have to be thinking the same way you thinking. I want to be number one because that's a motivation. You feel me? And then you see other people that doing the same. So you be like, man, I'm motivated. I got to do this. You feel me? I got to get into it. I got to do that. So it's a good thing, but then a bad thing. Donnie Hall, what's up, baby boy? Donnie Hall Show. What up, baby? My man Donnie Hall in the building. Big shout out to Donnie Hall, Jay York. Man, they got a great show too, man. Podcasters. They talk about boxing. They talk about a lot of stuff too, man. And Donnie Hall is a great guy. He's a very soft-spoken guy. Okay, he ain't like me. I'm wild. He's a little more tuned down, but he's a great guy. He got a great show also as well. He brings great people to his show, and when I get a chance, I go on there and I support him. I show him love and stuff because that's the right thing to do. I don't catch him all the time because we got different timings. But when I do see him on the live, I go there, say hi to him. I say hi to his people, and I stay there for a little bit, as much as I can, and then I go on. But at least I show him that I'm there. I'm supporting him, and I'm supporting his show, and that's important. So folks, there has to be more of that. There has to be more supportive people. You don't have to stay through the whole show if you don't want to, but you go there, you show your presence, you say hi, you have a little conversation, maybe ask a question or two to his guests, and then if you feel like you need something to do, then you go do it. But at least he knows in his mind that, damn, this guy stepped by, he showed me some love, ask some questions to my guests, and he, that's always a plus. You know what I mean? And it's always great to do that. Sing it loud. No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. Every night she walks right in my dreams. Since I met her from the start, I'm so proud I am the only one who is special in her heart. The girl is mine. I said, the doggone girl is mine. I don't understand the way you think. Sabrina saying that she's not mine. Sending roses and your silly dreams. Really just a waste of time because you're mine. I said, the doggone girl is mine. I love you more than he. Ow! You feel me? You have to get the vibe, baby. I'm telling you. Hakuna Matata means no worries. Yep. Yes. That's what I'm saying. So I love it. So do what you love, my friends. Do what you love. Stay happy, stay happy. Stay grinding, and don't look back. Look forward. You feel me? Anything that passes you by is the past. Remember that. Anything that passes you by as you're walking is the past. You're looking towards the future. Okay? That's it. Today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. Today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. So you need to do as much as you can while you're still living, and and make your stamp. Make yourself be known. Okay? Because ain't nobody gonna do it but you. IG, what's up, baby boy? IG in the building, co-host IG in the building. What's up, my brother? Love you, man. Happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Tell your mom I say hello. Tell her I love her to death. Y'all know the vibes, kid. You know what I mean? Always, my brother. Always. You know the fact. You know the deal. Holy feel. You know? Truth. Always truth. Always truth. No lies. Just the Don Vic Show. You already know we speak the truth here. We ain't perfect, but we try to speak the truth. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Live and direct from the Don Vic Show studios. You get the facts here. Find new talent, new faces, upcoming stars here all the time. You know, I got two great people coming on Monday and Tuesday. You know, I don't really do weekdays, but I'm doing it because of the holidays coming up. And the great actors and directors, and you know, and big shout out to my man Kristen Hobbs, also to a great director and producer. He got some stuff going on. He brought Heidi Mika to the show. She is from Indiana. She is a producer. She is a director and an actress. She was on a show a couple of days ago. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, people recommend people to my show. They like the show. They like coming on here. They love, you know, talking to me. Um, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone recommending other people to me, or recommending me to other directors and producers to come here on the show, because those are always opportunities, right? For me and for other people, you know, because if somebody in Indiana comes onto my show, which is an actress, or, you know, or done some background stuff, and say to me, damn, you know, I'm in Indiana, but I don't know, you know, any production team that I can get an opportunity, I can say, well, I do know somebody in Indiana. I know my friend Haiti. She's a director. She has a film production. Maybe I can talk to her and connect you with her. Maybe she can give you some work, even if it's background. You see what I'm saying? So it don't have to be about me all the time being in a project, or being involved with all my director friends being in a project. Because sometimes it's not about me being there. It could be someone else, you know, that I can help and get them. Maybe they need someone. And I might send them someone that can do great for their project. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty of what I do. And again, I love it. And see, to me, like, I got people that say to me, wow, you know so many producers, you know so many directors, you know, why aren't you on their movies? There could be several reasons. Some is because maybe they don't have a role for me. Maybe, you know, I can't make it. Maybe, you know, they already got who they need on their film, you know, anything. You know, not that I can't ask to be in the film. I'm pretty sure if I ask, you know, I can get an opportunity, but I don't do that. You know, I let everyone do them. And I feel like if someone wants you on their project, they'll ask you, you know. But it's not wrong to ask to be on the project with them, you know. I'm not asking for a lead role, you know, unless you got a lead role for me, then that's fine. But if not, then I'm okay with doing a little extra, be in the film, get a little camera time, or, you know, or do a supporting role, you know, whatever. I'm okay with that. But I'm not chasing no one. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, you know, because that's not who I am, you know, and and I do my own thing. You know, this is why I'm going to school, to get my own my own certificate so I can film my own stuff. So I can get those roles that I want to play. I just write the script and then I play those roles, and then I put it out there. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's hard to get those roles you want to play because either you're not good enough for them or you just don't have the experience. But when you do your own thing, you kind of do it the way you want to do it. And then you put it out there. And then when they start to see how you can do certain roles, how you do certain things, then those calls start coming in. Hey, I saw your clip. I like the way you did that. I got this movie that I'm writing. I want you to play this role, play that same character, and that's how things work. And plus I work with certain people. I don't work with everybody. I don't work with all directors that I know, you know, um, and or producers that I might know. I work with those that I worked with before and that I know that are good directors and good producers and people that are humble and and stuff like that. Not saying that they're not, because I never worked with them and they seem like great people when they're on my show. But if the opportunity presents itself and I can do it, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll take it. But I don't love you too, bro. I don't do that. I don't call anybody like and say, hey, you're a director, you got this movie, I want to be a part of, like, I don't see myself doing that, you know. Yeah, you share it. You hit the share button and you can share the live. Sabrina, hello. Uh, always, there's always room for always background actors. There's always room. You're right. You just got to get with the right people. You know, to get those type of roles. You know what I mean? Um, but there I get those questions all the time. Hey, just one of your friends is doing a movie. Why ain't you in it? Because I maybe I don't like, I'm not into that type of film. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to ask. Maybe they don't need me. They know who I am, and if they need some type a character like mine, or someone that looks like me to play a character, then they will reach out to me. You know, that's kind of how I do things. I don't like to ask nobody for anything. You know what I mean? Um, and what's for you is for you. You know what I mean? And if it's not, that's fine. You can create your own thing. I'm a creator. I love to create my own thing. I know that I'm going to be a ill director when my time comes. I'm going to put out some stuff that people are going to be like, "How did you do that?" Because I'm creative. You feel me? I'm very creative. So when people start to see my work, when I start putting out my work, some of those directors are going to be like, "Yo, I want to work with you," and I'm gonna be like, "Well, take that pause right now. Hold on. Keep that same energy you had before. Oh, wait a second, okay? Because that's how it is. Sometimes people don't want to give you opportunities. And when they see you doing something very creative and they see how good you can really be in front of the camera, then they want to reach out to you. But first, they didn't want to give you that opportunity for whatever reason. I don't work with people like that. I shut them down. But you've been doing projects for the past 4 years. I've known you. You ain't never reached out to me to be in one of your projects. All of a sudden, wait a minute. What made you want to change your mind that you want me in one of your projects now? You know, I work with those that give me the opportunity from the beginning, that that take the chance with me, not because they already saw how I work, but gave me the opportunity to see how I work. You feel me? And then I stick with those because those people took a chance with me to see how I can perform in front of the camera and they seen it and they liked it and now they want me there. You feel me? not the ones that they're gonna see you. Oh my God, he's so good. I want him in my film, and it all depends too. It all depends on who the person is. I might say, yeah, okay, I'll work with you, but it's like that. Don't you know? It is what it is. You do. That's good. That's good. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to do make your own moves. You know, good. That's. I mean, that's your job anyway. Is to put in your own work. So if that's what you're doing, great. You're doing great. That's what you need to do. It's better to do that than to sit back and wait to see if somebody is going to pick up your stuff to do it. Nobody's going to do that for you. Unless you got a hit. Where everybody's buying your book signing, everybody wants, but then people start to come out and reach out. This world's all messed up. It's screwed up. If they don't see that they can benefit off of you, then people don't reach out to you. They wait for that moment where you shining, where you making noise. I say that to my friend Nicole all the time. I said, Nicole, before you became an actor, nobody reached out to you, nobody wanted to give you opportunities. Now you're making noise. Now your name is making, it's in the industry making noise, and now everybody wants to reach out to you and want you in projects and want you to do this and want you to do that. I said to her, listen, open your eyes and watch your surroundings, because a lot of these people want to use you. I speak facts. I told her that, and I say here in the live, I said, not everybody that's in your circle wants to see you do good. Not everybody it's there um for your benefits, for theirs. They use you, and they want to use you to take your name, and they want to use your name in some of their projects, because with your name attached to their projects, they're going to get people to want to buy perks, to want to get into their project because your name is attached to it. Don't do that, because if those people fail, if those people don't finish that film, if those people don't end up getting that film um out, then you're going to look bad. And those people that um joined the film because your name was attached to it, lose their money. It's going to be a bad look. You know, um, and not that it's her fault. Because everybody does what they want to do. But when people know that you're a solid person in what you do, you get done, right? And you get into somebody else's project that's not your project, they don't operate like you. So the people that are following you, getting into the projects that you get into or work with you, think that, okay, if Nicole is there, you know, and then these people might be good. It don't work like that sometimes, because she's taking chances too. Now, when she's working on her own project, she's working on her own project with Sean, then that's a whole different ballgame. For a fact she's gonna get that done. You're gonna get your money's worth. You're gonna get your role. You know what I mean? That's a fact. So, you know, and usually she says, when she's going with something, she produces it. But I said to her, listen, I know you want to help a lot of these people, which is fine because I'm with helping people, but some people just want to use you for your pull, for your connections, for the people that you know. I tell her that all the time. She's be like, Vic, I know. She's be like, Don, I know. I'm just overwhelmed with a lot of this. I said, of course you're overwhelmed. There's so many people reaching out to you, want you to be a part of the project, want you to produce this, want you to be a part of that. Are they paying you for that? Are they willing to give you um some money for wanting you? Because a lot of people don't even want to pay her. They just want her to do, baby. It's fine to a point, but you got to get to a point where, hey, you have to pay me to come out and do this and do that, because it's not easy. Then I got to fly out, and spend money to make your project for free. No, it don't work that way. So you really have to really watch what you're doing and who you operating with. Thank you. You know, hmm that's right. Share, cause sharing is caring. You know the vibes, IG. You know the vibes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what it is. Folks. So it's it's a very challenging industry that we're in. It's a lot of cutthroats. There's a lot of wannabes. There's a lot of people that say they do and don't do. So you have to be really careful, um, especially when you're working with third parties, because sometimes it's not even you, the third party that don't come through. So you look bad because you were depending on someone else, and that someone else didn't come through. So you went and you promoted everything for no reason, because these people didn't come through. They were basically using your name to get people to come to their page or their podcast or their project because your name is attached to it because you're a part of that project. And then all they do is take the money and nothing gets done. You know what I mean? And that's just straight facts. I've seen it happen. And then I get people that call me and talk to me. This is why I don't know it all, but I know what I know because people call me and tell me situations, and I put it out there because it needs to be put out there. If they don't want to say it, I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I got to look out for my people. I got to look out for my friends. And if you got a shitty project going on and you're shady, I'm going to put you on blast. I don't care what you say, if you like it or not, but you're not going to play with my people that I know that are solid people and are good people and work hard for their money to be able to get into a project, pay for their Indiegogo, and pay for their role, and then you end up stiffing them at the end. We're not doing that over here. You know, Pray to God that I don't get your name. You feel me? Pray to God that I don't get your name on your production team name because I will put you on blast. You feel me? Because we're not doing that over here. People work too hard for their money, and to be a part of something that they thinking is going to happen, and in your mind, you're stiffing them, by sending them dreams, and then or you bring them out, you shoot the film, and then the film stays in the air, nothing happens. That's still stiffing them. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna go through with a whole project of film, then don't do it. Don't put the Indiegogo up. Don't if you're not doing the distribution deal, if you're not gonna go all the way, if you're not gonna go all the way, then don't do it. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna go all the way with the film, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Because all you're doing is creating a bad reputation, and you're hurting people's pockets because it's not just the money for the perk, right? That they spend. You talking the perk money, you talking hotel money, you talking rental money, and you talking hotel money, okay? And flight money. So you're not just talking an example, a perk for $350 for a row. You talking air if they got to fly out there, if they got to get a hotel, and if they got to get a rental to get out there, and then how many days they have to stay out there for their part. So then you can turn around and stiff them and say this project is not moving nowhere. So it's more than 350. You talking a couple of grand to come out there to do your project, and then you stiff them. That, my friend, it's not cool. That, my friend, it's not going all the way. Okay. So for my people that like buying perks and like to be in, do some research, find out who they are, see if they put out projects before, if they have projects, see how long their projects have prolonged, and see, ask questions. Don't call them, call people that work with them and see how they work, because they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay. Call people that worked with them in the past and see if any of those projects that they worked with them has ever came out. Because you're not going to go, you're not going to get what you pay for. So you're going to be upset, and then that will make you not want to become an actor. You're not going to trust the Indiegogo filmmakers because you've been stiffed. So you need to know who you're working with. Do your research, ask the questions, see how many projects they've done, how many have they have put out and succeeded with before you buy a perk, before you fly out, before you get a hotel, before you get a rental, before you do all of that. Do your research. Yes, they use movies to take money all the time. And so that's why you have to know who you work with. You know, um, and then you wonder why some teams, some groups or crew are always the same crew all the time. Why? Because they trust each other. So they don't let outsiders come in, because they know that as a group, as their group, they get things done, right? So sometimes it's hard for people to get into some projects, because when producers and directors and writers find the right team, they want to stick with that team. They don't want to bring other people because it's working for them. So it's harder for someone to come out from the outside and want to be part of that team. You know, most of the time you have to get, called in from somebody else that vouches for you to get in. Or you might just get lucky and have a good act you're good at acting, and they want to take a chance with you and bring you in. And if you're good, you stay. If not, then thank you for coming. Thank you, and whatever. So I can see why some crews don't work with a lot of people, always work with the same actors, um, same crew and team, because of situations like this, and it's sad, and it's not fair to a lot of people, but sometimes you have to work that way. Sometimes you have to do things that way, because there's so many phony people, so many people out there just to steal from the people, and they want to use other people's names to attach to their project to try to bring people to come and spend money and buy perks and stuff, and then things never happen. You know what I mean? Things just don't happen. So do your research. Make sure that if you're gonna buy a perk from a role that you might see on social media, ask the questions. See how many films they've done that completed and actually are out on Tubi or on Amazon, that they've done and completed. If they done, then you can probably take that chance and know, because you know that they're gonna finish the product, and your money's gonna be worth it, because you're gonna go and see yourself on TV, on Tubi or Amazon, wherever they get the distribution deal from. You know what I'm saying? Facts. I work with the people that I know. I know that the people I work with, it's about business. I know they get the distribution deal. I know they do their premieres. I know that they do what they do because I've seen it, I've done it, and I watch myself on TV. You see? So I'm working with that team. That's a team that I trust all the way, because I know that they're going to get the job done. So I know that my flying to where I'm going to fly to, my hotel, my rental is going to be worth a while, because I know that my scene, my purchase of my role is going to be on TV. I'm I'm going to see myself. I'm going to, so yeah, I'll take that chance. You know, so you have to know who you working with, my people. Don't just buy a perk just to buy a perk because you want to be in a film. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know what have they put out. You don't know nothing. You know. Sean, what's up? Sean Ellis in the building. What's up, baby boy? Sean Ellis in the building. My man, 50 G's. You know what I mean? I see you. What up? What up? What up? Follow Sean Ellis too, man. Paranormal investigator too, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Ooh la la, it's in the building. My man, ooh la la, it's in the building. Sean, ooh la la. Big shout out to Gwen too. Gwen is, Gwen and his whole team on the paranormal, man. You feel me? You feel me? George, what's up? George Crawford. What's up, baby boy? Big shout out to New York in the building. What's up, NY in the building? My man Craig. George Crawford in the building. What's up? What's up? My man 50 G's. Big shout out to Mr. George Crawford, man. Good. That's a good guy right there. Great guy. Thank you, Sabrina. Folks, so that's what a lot of things you have to watch out with Indiegogo films. It's not like it's a theater film or something like that where you send in your reels and they call you and they say, hey, we accepted you. We need you here for this day or this that. When you're doing the Indiegogo, you're buying a perk, you're taking chances. So make sure that you know who you're working with. Make sure you did some research and make sure you call people and find out who these people that you're working with if you don't know them. And make sure that you're going to get your money's worth. Okay, because there's a lot of flukers out there. There's a lot of projects that are being done and none of them are being completed. Okay. And what I mean by completed is that they shoot the film, everything's shot, but they don't have the funds to get the distribution. They don't have the funds to do the premiere. They don't have the funds to put it out. For some reason, you don't know what they did with the money. Okay. And if you're coming in and you're getting paid for a role, make sure that you get paid for the role as well. Okay. So ask all these questions. Ask all these questions on how it's going to work, how it's going to benefit you, and such and such. Do you get the credits? Do you get the credits on it? Do you get to put that on the IMDb? As credit. Can you get a reel from them? So that you can put together a reel for your next project. A lot of these things go into play. And I say it from experience. I got films that I've done and they haven't even came out. And I've asked for some of the reels that I mentioned. I can't even get the reels. You know, they keep, they just don't send me the reels. Why I don't know. Like the movie ain't out yet, or I don't know what they're doing with the film. But there's a couple movies that I've done already that they ain't even out yet, and I filmed those like 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and they ain't even out. So I don't know what the director's doing, but I've been trying to get those reels so I can do a reel with some of those scenes that I've done, so I can put it together, have someone put it together for me, um, so that I can try to get other roles, and I still can't get those things. So you have to be careful and know who you're working with, and you know, and make sure that you can try to get what you need to get other work, other jobs, in the future by getting your reels put together. You know what I mean? Um, because it's not you know Thank you, Sabrina. You're awesome as well. It's not an easy task, folks. You know, this industry is not easy. It's very shady. It's very shady. Okay, just like the music, it's very shady. The filming industry is very shady. There's a lot of promises that never come through. There's a lot of directors that or producers that say they're going to do it and they don't come through with it. So you have to be real careful. There's a lot of competition. Um, there's people that use other names to get clout. There's a lot of other groups that use a name or attach a name to their project so that people can buy perks and then nothing happens. So you're spending the money and nothing gets done. So this is why I say that you have to be careful who you're working with or who you're about to work with. Answer the questions. I mean, answer, the questions that you need to ask um, before you go into a project. Um, you know, because you can get Fadaisy. You can get played. And the worst thing is to feel like you've been bamboozled, like you've been played as an adult. You're excited to get into a project and then they're selling you dreams, and then you lose money, that you could have used for something else or another project that was actually a legit project. And then, you end up losing because you're going to feel like a fool. So I say to you, is do your research. Okay, do your research. Ask the questions. Ask people that know him, that crew, and you ask the questions, and then you make your decision. Your decision if you're going to move forward or not. You ask them, are you going to be in this film? Are you, and see what they say. If they don't sound too convincing, then don't do it. Because you don't know what their part is with them. Maybe they're using them too to bring people in, and nothing happens. So you make your own judgment. If they don't sound too secure about it, then just pass. And I get it because a lot of us want to be in a film, especially if it's your first time ever being in a film. That's when you make a lot of mistakes. You pay for it because you got the opportunity, you pay for it, but you're not asking the questions. And then later on, you're like, man, I paid for this like 3 months ago. When is the film going to be shot? You know, so you want to find out dates, right? You want to find out dates of when the filming is going to do. You want to find out the dates. You want to find out who's behind the film. You want to find out who's directing, who's the writer, who's the producer, right? And then you want to contact them and say, hey, I want to buy a role or I want to be in this film. Um, because there's no guarantees, right? But you got to ask the questions. Where is this going to be filmed at? Who's the producer? Who's producing it, and find out the information. Then to get the number and you call the producer. Who's the director? Call the director and see if they are on the same page. Um, call the PA or whatever and find out. If all of them on the same page. Um, who who all involved in this, and where is the location's going to be. And then once you're done with that, then you find out who are going to be some of the actors. Then you try to reach out to these actors and you ask your question, hey, how long have you been working with them? How solid are these people? Have they put anything out? And then you get their side of the story. If they say, yeah, I worked with them in a past project, I worked with them on an example, I worked with them on Alien Horror, I worked with them in this back, it's been out, you can go watch it on Tubi, or and then you go watch if it's on there like that person said, then it's a go. You can work with these people, you know. and you take a chance, you know, um, and see if you know, and see if you can be successful on that. And once if you do, and it works out, now you know you can trust this crew, you know, and then you say, hey, you know, I love the way you guys did it, whatever the case may be. I would like to work with you guys again. And then, you know, just see who you are, get your name, whatever, and then be like, okay, next time, you know, whatever. We can work. Now you know you can work with that team. For me, um, and I always say, and I say it all the time, with Nicole and Sean, I work anytime. I work with them anytime, any day, anywhere, because I know that Nicole will get it done. Okay, Nicole is a person that she doesn't leave nothing halfway. You know, she does. She puts in the work. She does it. She get it done. She does it the right way. And I could have been in several of her films that she did. I could have been in part two of her of Desert Fiends. I probably could have been on Skate to Hell too, because you know I had opportunity. She called me. You know, I could have bought the perks, but it wasn't my time. It wasn't the right time for me, so I didn't. I couldn't make it. You know, but if I could, I would have been. You know, because I know, look, it's coming. It's coming. It's the first January 1st. They're doing the premiere. They're going, you know, to the theaters to watch the film. Um, so she's legit. Okay, thank you for tagging in. Appreciate it, Sabrina. You know what I mean? So there's no way to lose. You know, and you know, they're looking for a solid team too, you know, people that can work with. And once they lock that down, to get that solid team together and get it to a perfection where they say we got the right sound guy, we got the right editor, we got the right producer, we got the right writers and stuff. It's going to be hard to get in that group. You know what I'm saying? Because they already got their solid team that they know they can depend on to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And there's people from all over the world that wanted to be a part of Desert Fiends. You know, Canada. Big shout out to all the Canadians that came out. You know, Mrs. Chambers. You know, and her dad. They came out of from Canada to be in Desert Fiends 1 and 2. Elizabeth Chambers. She's amazing. She's an amazing young lady. She's beautiful. She's tall. She's a model. She's a great singer, and she's also a director. She wrote her own. She wrote her own stuff. You know, she's talented. So for her to take that chance to come all the way from Canada to Las Vegas to be into a film, she took a big chance. So did her father. You know, Mr. Chambers. Big shout out to Mr. Chambers. Great guy. You know, they took a chance to come out here. They didn't know if that film was going to really be out or was it going to be, you know, hung up on the wall. You know, they took a chance with Nicole and Sean, and they made it happen. Now they did the second, the third film. I think this is the fourth or fifth film that they're going to do together. That only opens door and want people to work with them. You know, so that's what I'm talking about. You know, to have people like them to come up with a project and people want to be a part of it because they know that they get it done. That's the key. Get it done. Get the distribution, get the red carpet going, you know, get the premieres going, and then get the movie out on Tubi and Amazon. You know, when I first saw myself on TV, you know, when I when she called me, she was like, Victor, because Nicole, I love Nicole. She's you know, she's always keeping me updated. She's like, Victor, she's like, Don, go to Tubi, it's on now. She was like, She's like, "Go Tubi's on now." I went there and I watched the film, and I saw myself on TV. You don't know how great that feels to watch a TV, you know, and you're on there with actors, from all over the world, and then you got, you know, big actors on it too. Tom Arnold, you got, Elaine Deeds, Bay Lane from The Crow, from the movie Crow in it, Eric Roberts is in it. Like, that's huge. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And you in that film? I don't care if the film sucked. You in there. You in that crowd. You in there with one of the best actors there is on TV. You are on there. One of the greatest feelings ever for me. So we're gonna do this again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who she's bringing this time around for this other new film called Slashers with Sean. And big shout out to Sean. But I'm excited because I already know there's gonna be some people, on this film that you guys probably grew up watching, and I get to play with these people on film. So, you know, it's an honor to work with them, with all these other actors, because you learn from them too. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best actor, but I can hold my own. I know that when it's my time when the camera says action, Action Jackson is in the building. You feel me? I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I'm gonna try to do it to the best of my ability. My first take or second take is done. I don't need 10 takes. You know what I'm saying? Unless they need the extra, to do whatever else that they need. But I'm gonna try to get it in my first take or second take, maybe third. If I'm pushing it, but first or second take, man. Got it? Yeah, we got it. I'm good. I can go about my business and keep doing what I gotta do. You know what I mean? So that right there is amazing. And to be honest, that's like the first film I did where there were superstars in the film. Okay, the other ones I've did were just local actors, from the city, actors that have been doing it for a while, but they're not known in the industry for doing big films or nothing like that. So Desert Fiends was my first film that I've done with superstars in it, and it's only the beginning, because I'm getting my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is this: if I can do it, you can do it. You just got to put your best foot forward and execute what it is that you want to do. Okay. Um, Opportunities are always out there. You just got to take them, and always be honest, man. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with people. Be nice to people. Even if they're not nice to you, you stay humble at all time. You know, because in this industry, people like people that are humble. That are humble and that are honest, and that are hard workers. That shows, especially when you're on set. When you're on set, producers is watching, directors is watching, writers are watching. Everybody's watching you to see how you perform, to see how you move around people, to see how you get along with people. All that counts. It's not just coming there and acting, doing your role, and that's it. There's more to it where people say, he did a great role, but you know what? He's also a great guy, a great girl. She's so humble, she's so nice. I would want her to come again, because that's what happens. You don't have to be the best actor, but if you have those qualities in you of being humble and being great and being helpful, most of the time those people want you back because if that's who you are as a person, it speaks in volumes because you getting better as an actor takes time. And by working with these people, you're only going to get better and better and better at it. There's going to be people that are better than you, and you learn from them. There's going to be people that are going to want to help you and say, well, try to do it like this, you know, and that's what happens. And next minute, you become one of the best actors. People want to work with you everywhere. You get work everywhere. So keep that in mind, um, to be yourself, be honest, and stay in your lane and be yourself. Be yourself at all times, and and let your presence be known, um, as who you are. And be that person. You know what I mean? You know. Okay, Vic. I'll definitely come in. What time is it now? Oh yeah, I'll definitely come in, Sean. I'll come in and blab my mouth for a little bit. I'll come in there and chat and chat and chat. Okay. I'll come in there and be like, what is this? Numbers in your pocket. I remember when you used to call those things away. What if you wanna keep in touch now? Who gave you the reason to act so shady? Do 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 do. You hear me? Ooh la la, it's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. No New York thing, know how to lose, no winter comes because I'm in the month of June. And what it is something cool. Ooh la la, I'm trying to tell you, baby. Okay, holla balla. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, ain't no show like the Don Vic Show. Okay, and also, folks, the Don Vic Show Challenge Throwdown. Too, I'm still looking for some singers to bring back the Don Vic Show Challenge, singing challenge. So you got some. If you want to be a part of that, make sure you inbox me, send me your inbox, and tell me you want to be a part of the challenge. We can write you down and get this challenge and go on for 2026. I'm looking for some singers and rappers, singers and rappers, singers and rappers. Okay, you rap, you think you good, we're gonna put you up with somebody else and see how good you are. You know what I'm saying? If you're a singer, we're gonna put you up with another singer and see how far you go on a Don Vic Show challenge. Okay, for a prize. Okay, come and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Come and have fun, meet some people, meet my people. You never know what doors might open. Um, so if you're local, you want to rap, you rapper, you a singer, and you want to be heard on the Don Vic Show, make sure you inbox me. We'll get you to challenge the next challenger and see if you can make it to the next challenge. Okay, that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. Yes. Thank you for noticing. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for noticing that I'm one of a kind. That's only one of me, I'll tell you. Okay, that's only one of me. Said mini me. Okay. I tell you, man, it's just like, I don't get it. It's a unicorn, and when you stick here to be like a little devil. But But yeah, folks, that's basically um kind of a showbiz type of thing, how it goes down. And you know, thank you. And like I said, with Susan Victoria is one of the paranormals, and Donna too. But I don't really talk to Donna that much because I haven't seen Donna in a long time. But Donna is also a great person. But Susan um, lives over my way, and I want to talk to her about us getting together and creating something. I wanted to, and I was thinking of writing something about her because she is the Black Widow. So I wanted to write like a story with her and see how it goes, and maybe do a couple of seasons and put it on YouTube and see how people react to it. So I want to write a story about the Black Widow, and kind of like something like mystery, like a mystery thing. And since she knows how to edit, maybe I can film it, write it and film it, and with her, and maybe write a scene, maybe write a little story with the Black Widow, and see where it goes on YouTube, see if people like it, to tap in and watch it and see what we can come up with. So I want to talk to Susan about it to see if she's willing to act, you know, and be the Black Widow. And I want to write a story about it and see if she's willing to help me film it. Help me film it, because I think she has a good character where we can make something happen with her character. Um, the Black Widow. I love the fact. I love her suit. I think that's a character. I think that she can play it because that's who she is, and maybe add a little sauce to it, where with me writing it, and see if she's willing to play that role. Um, Maybe in like a cabin. We can go like in the woods because she looks scary when she's in her mood and she got her little wings thing, you know, and she can be really scary. So if we're gonna write like a little scary type of movie, scary type of scenes, as the Black Widow, maybe she coming out at night, and um she's turning people, like I don't know, like putting them in a trance where people do certain things. I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to write this, but definitely she's going to be one of the main characters. Um, and I just got to see how I'm going to write this down. But I want to talk to her about it and see what she thinks about it, and maybe we can write it together. Um, See what her idea is, and I run my idea by her and see what she thinks. Maybe we'll shoot like a season. We'll shoot a season of it and put it on YouTube and see how people react to it. People like it, then we'll shoot another one. You know, and if they like it, we will just keep shooting seasons and put them on YouTube. And who knows what happens from there. Um, but I think that she has the right character. We can write something spooky, um, something something scary, something paranormal. We can go so much with it. I was thinking about that the other day when I saw her clips that she had on her page, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. I started thinking, wow, how I can do something with Susan, with her, with her character, where I can write something about her character and have her bring it to life. So I think that I think it's a great idea. And the fact she lives close to me. She's like 40 minutes from me. And that came to mind the other day. I said I was watching her clips, and I seen her coming from behind a tree, and the way she opened her wings, you know, um, gave me the idea of writing something. Um, the Black Widow, where she can possessed you by looking. If you look into her eyes as she's, you know, she's flapping her wings, and it's like breeze bringing you away, but at the same time she's hypnotizing you with her eyes, and where you're saying, is this true or is this not? Because then, kind of like when she stops and you wake up, she's not there. She's like, you're like, am I daydreaming or something? But she's actually real. So I want to have that conversation with her and see what she thinks about that. You like that, Sean? You think that's cool? I think so too. You know, I think it's cool, and I was thinking more like, Sean, like filming it somewhere in the woods. Not when it's bright out, but when the sun is dimming down, when it's not dark but it's not light. You know what I mean? When it's like the sun is like, it's like that perfect sunlight where the sun is coming down, but it's still light, but it's dark too. I think that'll be a great moment to film her coming out of the woods, or coming out behind, or even like on top of a rock, and she's up there and she's like, flapping her wings, and then she just sits there and look, like it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be great. I just gotta come up with the story. I gotta see how I'm gonna write it. Yes, the outfit is awesome. I love her outfit. That's why when I saw it, right, and she got the right makeup too. She got the right makeup. It's not like she overdid it. No, it's perfect. The makeup on her face is perfect. Okay, because I want her to look humanish, human, not too much of like she overdid it. No, her makeup is perfect. Just the way she has that character, and I just gotta write a story about it, and see if she likes it, and then, she has an idea, we can both write it together, and then shoot it. We'll shoot a small scene, maybe a couple of scenes. She can edit it. We can add some music, and have her edit it, and then we'll put it up on, we'll put it on a YouTube thing, and see what happens, see how people feed to it, and see if they like it. And maybe we can do scenes. We can do chapters. Chapter one, chapter two. People like it. If people start to tap in onto it and want to watch it, then we'll start writing more. And I think that we might have something going with that character. The Black Widow. Um, and we just got to write the right story. The right story to catch people's attention with it. The beginning is going to be an eye catcher. Is going to be off the hook. Kind of like, remember that Matt movie, not the Crow too, but what's that movie with the skeleton? It's like a not a skeleton. It's like the scarecrow. I forgot the name of that movie. Um, where the guy, he opens his wing and he flies, but he's like he's what's the name of that movie? Man, I got it right here. But he's like in a cornfield, and he's hanging like this, and all of a sudden he flies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What movie I'm talking about? I just don't remember the name. But she's something like that. Like a story like that. Where she's like out for the souls. Of people. Did I say? Did I just say social like that? Just don't take mine, Susan. Who's hi? Hi, Spooky. Hi, Spooky. Hi, Susan. How are you, honey? Hmm. She's actually here. Oh my god. Oh boy, Sean, you should have gave me a heads up. She was on. I didn't even see her. See what I mean? She's spooky. You can't even see her coming. Yeah, some campers. Yeah, something like that. Um, I just gotta really think about how I would like her to be, as the character. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has her idea, but you know, I have mine too. So as I write, I go deep into, like, when I write, I get deep, deep, deep into stuff. Um, but I already got her character in my head, so I would know where I would want to see her do as that character, as the Black Witch or the Black Widow, whichever one we decide to go with. But definitely, it's going to be people coming to that location for like the summer break, or just camping out, and then she's out there and they go deep in, not deep into, it's going to seem like they're deep in the woods, and you know the sun starts to go down, where it starts to get really, it's starting to get dark, and all of a sudden she appears, and people, they see her, but then they look again, she's not there, and they're like, were we dreaming, did we just see something? And then as they go back to the camping spot, things start to happen, you know, noises, and you know, guy's in the bed. He's tossing, turning. He looks out the window, and she's standing there, and all of a sudden he shakes his head, look again, and she's gone. He wakes up in the morning. He's like, man, last night I thought I had a dream. I thought I seen somebody out the window dressed in black. It was so creepy. Blah blah. Then the next day, another one sees the same thing, but he's out maybe getting some water, and she's across the creek, and she pulls out she's kind of like looks out the side of the tree, and they she's moving her head like this or whatever, and they see her, and they run back to the cabin, and like, oh my god, I just seen some creepy stuff over here, and then they run back and she's gone. um so stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then as we keep going, things start getting really crazy, where she start really like appearing more and more. Stuff starts to happen in the cabin or outside, and it's creeping them out. And now one is missing, is found dead, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy like that, Susan. Okay. Human, humans, yeah. Hybrid, yes, a hybrid, yep. Jeepers Creepers, yes. Something like Jeepers, thank you, Sean. Something like Jeepers Creepers, but a mix of some paranormal stuff, you know, where she's disappearing, and is she real or she's not real? Is it what we thought it was, you know, or no? Or I can make it seem like during the day she's normal. She's a normal person. She's with us, sitting in the cabin, we having fun, and then at a certain time at night she disappears. We're like, where is Susan? Anybody seen her? No. And then she appears as this black witch, or thing. And, she's freaking people out. And she doesn't even know that she turns into this person. So it's like a different two personalities. That's another way I was looking at it. There's a few ways I'm looking at her character, how to write it, how to put it together. But I got to sit with Susan and talk to her and figure out, you know, how would it be good to write this. Because if we write it good together and she can edit it, I don't, she, I've seen her edit some stuff. I don't know how good she can edit, but I'll probably help her edit. I'll be like, no, let's put this there, let's put this sound to it, or whatever the case may be. But the thing is to put the story together, right? Put the story together, and figure out um how we're going to put this on online, and just to see, because my boy, he has a show online. He has a show. It's more of a street, gangster stuff, and he's done pretty good. Actually, Tubi reached out to him and wanted to give him a deal because of his film, and he just started on. He didn't just start. He's been doing it for a while, but he was been putting his stuff on YouTube, scene after scene after scene, and people been watching it. So he's getting good feedback. So there could be an opportunity that we can do the same thing with this paranormal slash creepy show movie, and get the same results. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that love the paranormal, um, and scary films. So a little bit of both would be great. What do you mean, Susan? What do you mean? What? Yeah, definitely. The good thing, Sean, is I'm a creator, right? I'm a storyteller. You know, I'm a very good storyteller, but there's always someone that's better, right? But two minds creating something is always better than one. Um, and I got people that also write. What I'm saying, I can write it and put it together and run it by my writers and see what they think about it, see if anything needs to change or add to, and run it by Susan, see what she think about it, see if she can play those roles, um, and then go from there. Uh, so yeah, so that's something I was thinking about. I got to talk to Susan about it. You know, so yeah, folks, that's how you start, right? How you start producing projects and ideas to put film out. And my friend does pretty good, and he's done where now. He's got nominated for one of the best YouTube films, and he does it with cameras, like with his camera. I mean, phone. With his phone, he don't have a a crew system. He does it himself. He get the phone. He got a few people that work with him where they can take different angles and they put it together. He got an editor, that does it, and he does it. And you know, and it's just street stuff, gangsters and drugs and stuff like that, stuff that happen on the streets, you know, and it's been doing good for him, you know. So when I saw Susan doing her video, that clicked into my head, and said, "Wow, we can do a very good stream. We can stream a very good show on YouTube with her character, and with the right writing and the right editing and sound behind it. And I'm sure that we can get someone to put the sound behind it. We can come up with something really, really nice where people are going to enjoy watching on YouTube as a series, you know. So Susan, talk to your boy. Holla at me, okay? Holla at me if you're Betsy, or if you think it's a good idea, holla at me. Because it's something I'm going to do, right? It's something I'm going to do. I just started Susan because I like her outfit, and I thought that I can do something with her. But even if she chooses not to, it doesn't interest her. I'm still going to do something. I'm still going to write something and put it on YouTube. Um, I'm gonna be taking my classes after January. When I get back after the holidays, after the holidays, I'm going to take a classes so I can get a little more educated on the camera thing. And I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot some stuff because then I'm gonna have the real equipment. I'm gonna have the real cameras, aspects of them to shoot whatever I want to shoot. You feel me? So, like I said, there's always opportunities for people, and I don't I don't stop for nobody. I move forward, but I always like to give people opportunities and add people to that want to do something and bring them to some new stuff, and I'm going to do something regardless of what happens. I'm going to shoot some stuff this year in 2026. Put a trailer out. And if I have to shoot my own film through this through this company that I'm gonna be working with, because it's a nonprofit, so I can't do it for profit, but I can put it on their channel, which is on cable. I can put it on the cable channel as a free film, and I can get known that way by putting up films. And so I'm gonna use that to my advantage to be able to put some of my stuff out. Um, so however it goes, however it works out, it's fine with me. Um, and I just think that for the paranormal world, I think that that character Susan has will be a great start for us to create something for the paranormal, um, for the paranormal groups that she's in and Sean's in, to see another side of her, besides the podcast, is to bring her to life as a character, um, on a YouTube series, and create a good story behind it, behind her character. I like it. I think her suit is amazing. It's different. She wears it well. We just got to find her character so that we can write around that and create something. I really do. I really do. You know, that's a big okay. You're in. I like that. I like that. So and I say this because you know you're close by me, Suzanne. You're really close to me. You're only like 40 minutes, and if we need to do anything, we can always meet halfway, or we can have coffee and we can sit and talk about it. I can bring my notebook and we can write while we're having coffee, just kind of reminisce and create your character. And once we create that character, then we can write the story on. We figure out what story we're going to write on this character, and maybe write a season, first season on it, and then shoot it. Right, W- we'll shoot it somewhere where we don't have to be going to 10 different places to shoot. We find one place where we can shoot and shoot it there. So like an example, say I would like to create your character like in the woods because it's scary. Woods are scary. Maybe a cabin. And we shoot the film around that. The woods, maybe a little river, a cabin. Have some cars there. We keep it in the woods. We keep your character in the woods, um, and we write. Because and then we write from there. Um, because I think it's going to be really spooky. You know, um, your character would be really spooky in the woods, and we write. People coming to the cabin or even to the river, boats coming through. Like it's so much to write about, right? When you're in the woods, and then how we gonna bring your character out and execute, your role. So if you're interested, you want to do that, you got my DM. You can DM me. You can call me. You got my number. You can call me. We can talk about it and see. We can try it. We can try it and see how it comes out. And if it's something that you feel that we can do and you're willing to do, because I know you're a busy woman. Because it just takes time to do, and we got to have time to film. Um, Sometimes we might have to film a couple hours to get some footage. edit it, put the sound to it. If you're willing to do that, then I'm okay with it too. We can do it and we can shoot maybe a season and see how it goes. You know what I mean? And if you like it and it goes well, then we can keep shooting it. Um, it's, like Saw, yeah, like Saw in one location. Right, but because her character can do so much, it works. It works in one location. You know, um, because either she can play the role of the Widow Witch and just stay at that character, or we can switch her up where she's a regular human like us, and at a certain time she disappears, and then all of a sudden we see this witch. We don't know where she's coming from, but we can't find Susan. We don't know where Susan is. And then when this person disappears, an hour later, we'll find Susan like we're looking for her. We'll find her like by the river. She's working, doing something by the river, or she's walking up the hill, or she's walking down, like, or she's somewhere. And then we start to figure out, like, wow, why is it that every time she disappears, this person, this witch, this scary thing comes around and, it starts, you know, um, chasing us and trying to murder us, and trying to hypnotize us, like, so people start to try to put one and one together, and she's playing both roles. Like, no, that's not me. It's probably, you know, this and that, and all of a sudden we start to see strange things. We start to find, some of her clothes with blood on it, or mud, like she'd been walking, through the mud water, and we start to figure out, like, man, sh- she's really strange. Like, how is she ending up with all this mud and stuff? So I have to figure out how we're gonna go with the story. How we gonna play it. Is she gonna play two characters? Is she gonna play one character? And so that's the kind of the tricky part right there. So that's why I would have to sit down with her and reminisce and talk about her character and see how she feel comfortable playing it. If she's willing to play both roles, the innocent and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. you know, and and see what we can do. Because I think it would be a great idea. I think it'll be great for the paranormal world, you know, and then we can, who knows, bring more paranormal investigators into this season where she's going after the paranormal people now, because they're trying to figure her out now. They're trying to go out and see if they can find her. Now she's attacking them, she's going after them, and paranormal people are starting to disappear. So there's so much we can do with her character. A fallen dark angel with witch and Medusa like. Yes, see, that's the great start. You know, you got fallen dark angel. We can write about that. We can write about witch something and Medusa powers. So there's so much stuff we can do with that character. Um, Now that connected to ravens. Oh boy, she gets darker and darker every minute. Yeah, that exactly, Sean. So that's what I'm saying. That it's so much that we can do with her character. You know, you're right. She can come in the cabin. We go to the cabin. We're there. She get bitten. She get bitten by something and then she doesn't tell us that she got bitten, or she went to the waters, to a cave, on her own and she got bitten and she came out and she didn't say nothing. She thought it was cool. And then late at night, she started getting fever. She started noticing in the mirror that her eyes are changing. She's feeling thirsty for blood or something. She goes out, she's eating like animals and stuff. She's like, something's wrong with me. And then next minute, she becomes the fallen angel. So much we can do with this, you know. So it's just a matter of how we write it, how we put it down. Because for each season, it's gonna get deeper and darker, deeper and darker. We don't want to give it all up at the first season. We want to kind of stretch it out where people want to engage and watch it. But like, what she's gonna do next? What is she gonna do on the next season? Who's she gonna kill next? Who's she gonna go after? You know what I mean? We want to keep that tense like that. So we got to write accordingly to that step where the next scene is going to be more gruesome, who she's going after, or we can make it seem like people don't know who the killer is. You know, people don't know who the fallen angel is. We got a few girls, we got some guys in the cabin. Somebody in there is the fallen angels, the witch. We don't know yet. So we're trying to figure out who is the person. So it's like everybody's pointing at each other, and then we're all starting to investigate one another. Where we going into the girls' bags, figuring out in their rooms, looking for stuff. They're going to our rooms, looking in our cars and trying to figure out if it's one of us, like that. So it's gonna be something. This could be good, you know. Yes, there's so many things, so many things we can do, um, and because it's on YouTube, we can shoot season anywhere. Say we wanted to go see you, Sean. We wanted to go see you, and Susan was down, and we ended up going to your part of town. We can shoot a scene there because it's we have the cameras with us. It's our phones. We got the phones. We shoot from the phones, send it to Susan through email or however she can download it into her system, and then she can edit it, and then we find the sounds to go with the scene and add the sound to it. That's the good thing about it. you know so it's just as and then like even like going towards your way, we can record the Susan and I can record us going there, like everything, us getting on the bus or even traveling, going to you, getting all that scenery, and we can use that for the film too, you know, and she can add that to the film as we travel to your house, got there, and then things started happening in your location. So every footage is a good footage. You know what I'm saying? Because we're building the momentum to where she starts to do things out of town, you know, and out of town locally, and that's how we're gonna do it and expand the series. We can expand the series that way. You know what I mean? So that's something Susan and I would talk about. I know she wanted to do something with the filming. I know she wants to be a part of a film, and you know, which is great. I think it's great. It's a new thing that she's touching, a new door opening. So that's all fine and dandy, you know. And I'm with it. I love it. I don't know if you guys seen a while ago. I shot something with my sons, and where I had the drone go up and shoot the whole city. It was called the Don Vic Show, Don Vic Films. So what happened was the guy that was doing it for that was going to do it with me ended up going to jail, and so I couldn't do it. But he was my editor. He was gonna edit that, so I was gonna put that on YouTube. It was like a gangster thing that kind of like a true story, but fiction. Kind of like I was kind of telling my story through it. You know what I mean? Things that I've been through when I was on the streets and things I went through. But I have my sons playing me as a youngster when I was younger. And then eventually I was going to come out as I got older. And then I play my role. So the beginning was all my sons, playing the role when I was young. With my other son. Um, as their boys, acting like they were my boys, things that when I was young I was doing. So that that I might go back to again. That's why I want to go back. That's why I want to go to school, because in school they teach me how to edit. They teach me how to edit. They teach me what to do. So once I learn how to edit, then I'm gonna do. Trust me, I'm gonna go all out. Because then now I don't have to call nobody. I don't have to go to nobody. I can do everything right here in my computer or everything in the studio at the place. And I'll put the film together. You know what I'm saying? So so that's gonna be another thing I might go back to. And I still got some of that footage on my cameras. You know what I mean? So yeah, folks. So that's basically it. And just 2026 a better year. Um, Focus, like I said, on what you want to do. Stay sucker free, stay out the way, be yourself, stay humble. Love yourself so that you can love others, right? Stay focused, help those that help you, love those that love you. Um, Stay away from all the hawks and all the haters and fake friends. If you can stay by yourself, then stay by yourself. Keep all your dreams and stuff to yourself, unless you're working with a team. Um, Minimize your business to telling people your business. You know what I mean, and focus on yourself, on getting better. Um, and just keep moving forward. You know what I mean. So just stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys updated with what I'm doing. Um, and Again, like I said, 2026 hopefully will be a better year for me. It's a lot of things I want to do for 2026. Trust me, a year's not enough for the stuff that I want to do. I want to get done and accomplished. A year's not enough. But this 2026, I'm gonna do the important things that I feel are important that I need to do for 2026 that I want to get out the way, which is getting to school and getting the certificate for filming, um, getting into that to the school, using their equipment to film. That's one of my biggest things. One of my first things I want to do. Um, uh, be in another film for this year. Hopefully, with Nicole, I can be in the next film. Um, get that done, and then focus on writing a YouTube series. Either with Susan, or I figure out something else to do for that. So however it works is fine. But yeah, that's the mission for 2026, is to get some stuff done, some work done, and hopefully my brand too, my clothing line should be out. I'm working on my clothing line as well too, BB Swag. I know you guys seen some of my stuff online. I posted it up. That's what I'm working on too. So hopefully that comes out for 2026. So that's a lot of things that I'm working on, and it's not easy. I'm by myself trying to get this stuff accomplished, so it's not easy. I may not be able to accomplish everything in 2026, but I'm gonna do my best to try to bring out and do what I can for 2026. And yeah, so bear with me. I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank all of you for coming on the show, being great sports. Um, And tune in Monday and Tuesday. I got two great shows, two great directors and actors coming on the show. We'll be talking about their upcoming films and films that they've written and produced and they're working on. And then if I don't see you for Christmas, you guys have a Merry Christmas, have a blessing New Year's, and stay tuned for what's coming for 2026. All right. So you guys have a good night. Love you guys. I'll let y'all go with peace, love, respect. You know the vibes. Your boy Swag in the building. And I'm gonna let y'all go. Peace.